Hello YouTube! Today on the Nightly Librarian, I'm going over my August TBR list. Whew, okay, so a few things before we get into the TBR list. One, lots of times people ask me what wine I'm drinking in the video, so I figured I'd just show it. This is a Sangiovese. It is a Central Italian red wine. It's one of my favorites. Basically, I will always like a Sangiovese. There's very few I don't like, so I have this one. I really appreciate it. It's by Setticelli. I don't know, it's Italian. It's all in Italian on here. I could read it to you, but it's all in Italian. Second, I am now a Book of the Month Club affiliate, which I am super excited about. Here's the deal with that. If you are into YA books and you're into getting a bookish subscription box every month, but you don't really want to get all the doodads that come in the boxes, you just want a book, and you want to be able to pick the book you get, then Book of the Month Club is totally your jam. Every month they send you 5 different options of books of the month, and you get to pick which one you want. And hey, if you want more than one book, you can get more than one book. You just have to, buy the other book, but they're discounted and you get them together in the same box. It's a really cool plan, and you get to pick which books you want. If you have all 5 and you're like, none of those look good, you can skip it. It has a lot of customization options, which is really cool, and that's a factor that I really like about it, actually. So if you're interested in a Book of the Month Club and you want to try it out, I have my affiliate link down below. You click it, you sign up through that link. Hey, Book of the Month Club might do nice things for me too. And also use code WHOA. Oh my gosh, there was a bug. Anyway, there was a bug and it flew at my head. It was a moth, it wasn't dangerous, but it flew at my face. Back to what I was saying, if you want to try out Book of the Month Club, use code WHOA and you get your first book for $9.99, which is half off because these are brand new releases and they're hardcover books, so it's basically 50% off. It's pretty dope. Alright, third thing before I actually get into the books I'm going to be reading. I don't know how August is going to go for reading. I have this long list of books and I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them because it's very close to certain I won't, because I don't really talk about this on my channel, but I have very severe allergies, which doesn't sound like a big deal, ooh, allergies, but it's no, they're severe. I have to go get shots at the doctor. They're bad. And for so many years of wear and tear on my sinuses from having constant inflammation, they are all fucked up, out of lack of a better word, and I have to get sinus surgery this month. And it's not just a simple sinus surgery, it's a lot of surgery happening inside of my face. So I'm low-key horrified of it, but it would be really cool to be able to breathe, because I haven't really been able to breathe properly in years. So this is going to be really dope, but it is happening in August, so when I'm recovering, I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done. Maybe I'll get a lot done because I'll just be laying there, or maybe I'm going to just be miserable and just want to do nothing. So I don't know, it's kind of up in the air at this point, but we'll find out together. Okay, that is enough things that aren't books. Let's talk about books now. Here is what I'm hopefully going to be reading in August. I so want to read Rebel by Beverly Jenkins. I have read a few other things by Beverly Jenkins, and the thing about her books is that they're always incredibly written, and they're wonderful historical fiction, but they're not necessarily always romances. And the covers are always very suggestive. Look at this sexy man abs, right? This looks oh, they're gonna bang the bejesus out of each other. And then you're gonna read this book and they probably won't do it on page. I've been hurt before. But this is so cool sounding. It is post-Civil War, it's in New Orleans. It has spies, it has feisty women, it has action, it has passion, it's got romance, hopefully smuttiness. But it all sounds super cool, and I love her historical fiction, and I just really want to read it. It looks so good. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. And it takes place in New Orleans, so automatically it's a little bit cooler. I am going to continue my Sarah J. Maas binge with A Court of Mist and Fury. This is book 2 of the ACOTAR series. I have heard good things about this one. This seems to be widely everybody's favorite book of the series. That I can tell. I haven't heard anyone say this wasn't their favorite book of the series, because I'll be honest, book 1 was alright. It wasn't my favorite thing I've read. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm sorry, I know it's well beloved, but I think I'm just more of a throw to glass kind of girl. I like that series better so far. This one might come along. It might just blow me out of the water. I don't know, because book 1, I gave it a solid 3 stars. Like a good 3 stars, not like a wimpy one, but not close enough to like round up to 4. It's definitely a 3. So I'm hoping this one is gonna be just like amazing, because that's what everyone else says about it. And I don't know. I'm trying to go in as blind as possible for these books. I don't want to know what's gonna happen. I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping I find time to squeeze in next year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton. I met Chanel Cleeton and I was really excited because I had heard overwhelming support for this book. A lot of my friends have read it and really loved it, so I saw her at a book festival I was at and I was like, buying that book, yeah. And it seems really cool. It's definitely more historical fiction, historical romance possibly. It kind of takes place in Havana in the 1950s. And in 2017, it's like the story of this woman and her grandmother and how these paths like kind of intertwine. And I've been told that it's steamy. I don't know. Sometimes people's like definition of steamy varies, so we'll find out. But it kind of like the cover gives me like mad Evelyn Hugo vibes, and I loved Evelyn Hugo. I love like the 50s as a time period right now. Like I'm really into stories that take place then. I don't know why. I'm just like feeling that time period. So this one definitely has like things going on for it that I'm fascinated with. And I mean, maybe I'll love it. I might. A lot of my friends really liked it. I want to find out more. I'm very intrigued. And also it takes place in Cuba, and I don't really know a lot about Cuba. Like I know like the basics like we learned in school, but I don't know a lot more. I want to get into that culture and see like how things were. So I'm very much fascinated by it. Also on deck is Storm and Fury by Jennifer Armentrout. This is a spin-off / continuation of the Dark Elements series by her, and hot damn, Jennifer Armentrout writes incredible teenage melodramas. I love them. I know they're teenage melodrama, and usually with paranormal things, but like it'll never not be my jam, okay? This series in particular deals with gargoyles, which, hey, you don't see a lot of that in, like, paranormal romance, teen fiction. But basically there's gargoyles, they fight demons, they can, like, shapeshift between gargoyle form and, like, human form, and you know, like, they're sexy teen humans. And, sexy results, question mark? I think this is kind of an NA book, so there might be a little bit more heat in it. But, I mean, Jennifer Armentrout's books are kind of sex positive in general. But they are, you know, technically YA, so they're not going to be very explicit, but they are sex positive, so there usually is some explicit content in it. But that's not why I'm reading this. I'm reading this for hot gargoyle action. I just want to see gargoyles do cool stuff. And then be real angsty about it. And then probably have like relationship drama. And I'm so into it. I know it's weird that I'm an adult, but like teen melodrama is like so juicy sometimes. I just love it. Especially when they have paranormal elements, like I'm in. Like Jennifer Armentrout writes this teen alien series and I love it, and I know it's trash, but I love it. And I feel like this might be the same. Like it's gonna be trash, but I'm gonna love it. Also on deck is The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg, and I have been wanting to read this so much. Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany has said this is one of her favorite books that came out this year. She is obsessed with it, so I definitely wanted to read it. It is a recommended book to me. It's kind of like Disney meets Westworld, I guess. There is this theme park with like Westworld like cyborgs, and they're kind of based in fairy tales. So I'm thinking the main character here is kind of like a Snow White type character, and then, you know, there is romance, and then her programming changes, and then possibly murder. I don't know. I'm really into it. It's Westworld and Disney made a baby, and it's this. I'm way into it. And it's gotten rave reviews from some of my friends that I genuinely trust their opinion, so I definitely want to try to squeeze this in if I have time. My dang nose is going to screw stuff up, I know it. A book I am super excited to read is Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey. This is another book that was recommended to me. I went out with my friend Delara because they had found out about this book and they wanted me to go with them, and I said sure. And then at the reading or the signing, Sarah Gailey did talk about the book and did a reading from it, and it's awesome. It was so funny and like just kind of noir. It's like Harry Potter noir. That's the best way to describe it. Basically, this is a grown-up book, but it also features a magical academy where there was a murder. And our main heroine in this is a private detective, and she is hired to solve this murder. So there's murder, there's magic, there's like a public school version of Hogwarts. Basically, this is made of everything that I find fascinating, so I definitely want to read this. I have read technically chapter 1 because the author did read it at the book signing. So from chapter 1 alone, I was in. I was sold. I loved it. So definitely want to read this. This is so high on top of my list of things I would definitely want to read. I might try to squeeze in Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins because it is so freaking short. I think it's like 250 pages. How long are you? Okay, it's 274 pages. This is short AF, and it's gonna be adorable. It's gonna be like a cupcake of a book, and I love it. That's why I like Rachel Hawkins books sometimes. They're just cupcakes. It's about a boarding school with a plucky American girl who goes to Scotland to this boarding school, and her roommate is a princess. And it also is an FF romance, so I'm assuming maybe enemies to lovers, maybe friends to lovers, I'm not sure, but like it's going to be adorable because it's Rachel Hawkins. Everything is adorable and cupcakey. And I do want to try to squeeze this in. It's going to be like a little ray of sunshine and it's super short. I can totally squeeze this in. An ambitious book for me to try to read this month is Kingsbane by Claire Legrand. This is ginormous. Oh my gosh, remember how short that one is? This one is, oh, you know what? It's only 594 pages, so it's 600. It's like twice as big as the other one. Not as big as I thought it was gonna be. I thought this was closer to like 800, but 600 is maybe doable. Nope, it's really long. I'm just trying to like hype myself up. Anyway, Kingsbane by Claire Legrand. This is the sequel to Furyborn. Furyborn was one of my favorite books I read last year. I love Claire Legrand. I love her writing style. I love this series. My only like concern is that it's been a long time since I read Furyborn. Like there's a lot of it that I still remember vividly, and I know there's certain things I probably have forgotten because it's been so long, but I feel like I have a good handle on what happened in that story. Like I remember a lot of like small details still. So that just is like a testament to how much I love that book. And so I definitely want to read this one. I've heard, again, amazing things about it. I've heard some things that maybe weren't so amazing. I'm not sure, but I feel like for me, I'm probably going to go in. I already know I'm going to love this. So I'm just waiting to do it. I'm just waiting to get into this. I want to be in you. If possible, I want to try to read Inspection by Josh Malerman because I loved Bird Box. It was legitimately one of my favorite books I've ever read. And it's crazy. I still haven't seen the movie because I'm like, I don't want to ruin the book. The book was so good. And this is another book by Josh Malerman. This is Inspection. This is his latest book, I believe. And it's kind of interesting. It's like a creepy school in the woods and science experiments and I don't know, it kind of has like Lord of the Flies type of vibe to it. And I just want to read it. I want a good spooky book. I want a spooky book. Josh Malerman so delivered with Bird Box. Like that was legit terrifying. So I do want to read something else that is gonna like be scary and creepy. And yeah. And also it's just a pretty color. Like that's a stupid reason to want to read a book, but isn't it a pretty color? Like it's like minty. Like I don't know. Anyway, Inspection. I want to read it. I'm going to be reading this next book for a very important reason. This is The Blade Itself by Jo Abercrombie. I'm going to be reading this because I am doing a collab with Leanna from Leanna's Library, and it's basically we want to read outside of our comfort zone. Because Leanna and I are very good friends, but we also have very different reading styles. Like our styles interlap quite a bit. Like if this is a Venn diagram, there's like a fair portion where our tastes interlap, but we also have very different taste. Leanna really loves grimdark fantasy, and I don't necessarily get into grimdark because that is very grim and dark, as the title suggests. She is such a Jo Abercrombie fan. She loves this book to bits and is very much a grimdark fantasy. So I'm going to read this one, and that means I get to recommend Leanna fluffy rom-coms, which are basically the polar opposite of grimdark fantasy. So it's going to be fun. We're both going to read some books that are very much out of our comfort zone. It's going to be interesting. And we'll do like collab videos. It'll be on this channel. It's going to be fun. The last book I'm going to be reading this month, I don't know what is yet because it's a book of the month for the Wicked Spirits Book Club. I don't know which book is winning right now when I am filming this, so I'm going to put it in on the screen here so you know what book won. But I will know that in the future when I am editing this. Right now, I'm not sure which book is winning. Alright, so that's kind of an ambitious TBR considering I am going to be out for the count for some of this month after my surgery and recovering. So I don't know how many of them I'm going to get into, but I do want to try my best. Fingers crossed. We'll hopefully I'll get to them all. I know I won't, but like I'm hoping. Send me all your good vibes. Like pretend like I'm Tinkerbell and you need to applaud so I'll live. But that, you know, for books. Okay, that's enough. Let me know in a comment down below. Have you read these books? And if so, which ones are your favorites? Which ones do you think maybe, hey, if you need to skip a book, this is the one to skip? Let me know in a comment down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.